The pharyngeal muscular wall comprises three longitudinal muscles, namely salpingopharyngeus, palatopharyngeus, and stylopharyngeus, and three circular constrictor muscles, namely superior constrictor, middle constrictor, and inferior constrictor. These constrictors mainly function to propulsion of the food bolus into the esophagus, while the longitudinal muscle act as a dilator and elevator of the pharynx. Superior constrictor is the thinnest of the constrictor and shaped like a quadrilateral sheet. Its function is to constrict the upper region of the pharynx. It arises from the pterygohemulus and the pterygomandibular raphe, running from the pterygohemulus to retromolar trigone and from the posterior end of the mylohyoid line to the mandible. The pterygomandibular raphe is the fibrous condensation that extends between the vaccinator and the superior constrictor muscle. The muscle fiber of the superior constrictor run backwards, upwards, and their anti-attachment to fuse in the midline on the posterior aspect of the pharynx at median pharyngeal raphe. Some fiber project upwards, attached to the base of the skull indirectly by the pharyngobasilar fascia, which attach to pharyngeal tubercle. That is a bony projection just anterior to the foramen magnum. Posteriorly, the lowest fiber sit comfortably within the overlapping middle constrictor muscle and reach the level of laryngeal vocal fold. On the lateral aspect, these superior and middle constrictors do not overlap, and a gap exists through which the stylopharyngeus muscle passes and two nerves, glossopharyngeal and lingual nerve passes forward into the direction of the tongue. The second constrictor muscle is middle constrictor. The fan-shaped middle constrictor arises from the inferior end of the stylohyoid ligament and the greater and lesser horn of the hyoid bone, and its fiber fan out in several directions. Most of its fiber wrap around in the same manner as superior constrictor fiber to join the median pharyngeal raphe, while the upper fiber also encircle the lower posterior fiber of the superior constrictor. The lowest fiber of middle constrictor muscle that angulate downwards in the dorsoventral direction also terminate at the level of laryngeal vocal cords, along with the superior constrictor. The muscular anterior wall here is incomplete between the middle and inferior constrictor and is covered by thyroid membrane, which form part of the anterior wall in the hypopharynx. On the superolateral aspect of the membrane, the internal laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal artery and vein passes medially through this gap. The third circular muscle is inferior constrictor. It is the thickest of all muscles and it's having two parts, thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus. Thyropharyngeus originates from the oblique line of thyroid laminae and from a small strip of lamina behind it and a small part of the inferior thyroid horn as well as some part from the tendinous fascia overlying the cricothyroid muscle. Its fiber passes upward posteromedially to join the median pharyngeal raphe and some fiber crosses the raphe and fuse with the contralateral muscle. Its upper fiber overlaps the middle constrictor muscles. The second part, cricopharyngeus, arises from lateral aspect of the cricoid cartilage, emerging from between the attachment of cricothyroid muscle and inferior thyroid horn. It is distinctively different from all other flat constrictor muscle that is thicker and round. Its fiber passes horizontally to encircle the cricoid arch without fusing in the midline at pharyngeal raphe. This is the sphincter of the pharynx, which also continues with the circular muscle coat of the upper esophagus. The mucosa between these two muscle has little support from the pharyngeal musculature, and area between this thyropharyngeus and cricopharyngeus become weaker area. That area is known as pharyngeal dimple or more commonly Killian's dehiscence. The specific site of weakness is on the posterior aspect in the midline of the fusion point of these two muscles. This area is important in the pathogenesis of pharyngeal diverticula or pharyngeal pouch, which form a prolapse of mucosa and submucosa of the pharynx just above the cricopharyngeus muscle at the level of 6 cervical vertebrae, resulting formation of the pharyngeal pouch. And this pouch becomes convenient reservoir for trapping some food bolus. Halitosis and regurgitation are hallmark of this condition. The specific etiology of pharyngeal pouch is however unknown. It is thought that malfunction of the upper esophageal sphincter may contribute to the formation of this pharyngeal pouch. And this is the overview of the three constrictor muscles and innervated mainly by pharyngeal plexus through the vagus nerve. And these all three muscles insert on the pharyngeal raphe except the cricopharyngeus part of the inferior constrictor muscle. And main function of this constrictor muscle constrict the pharynx to propel the food into the upper esophagus. The structure passing above the superior constrictor are pharyngotympanic tube, tensor and levator belli palatini. Palatine branch of ascending pharyngeal artery, and all these structures passing above the superior constrictor between the superior constrictor and skull base. Between the superior and middle constrictor muscles, the stylopharyngeus muscle, styloglossus muscle, and glossopharyngeal and lingual nerve passes through superior and middle constrictor muscles, the gap between these two muscles. Below the middle constrictor muscle, it means between the middle and inferior constrictor, structure passing are internal laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal vessel. Below the cricopharyngeus muscle, the recurrent laryngeal nerve, inferior thyroid artery, these two structures passing below the cricopharyngeus muscle. Now talk about three inner longitudinal muscles which act to elevate and dilate the pharynx. First muscle is stylopharyngeus muscle. Is a long conical muscle that descends inferiorly between the external and internal carotid arteries. It is cylindrical above and flat below. It enters the pharynx between the superior and middle constrictors. It originates from the median side of the base of the styloid process within the temporal bone and insert into the posterior superior border of the thyroid cartilage with the palatopharyngeus muscle. Second muscle is palatopharyngeus. It is also muscle of the soft palate. It has two heads, the thicker anterior head and thinner posterior head. The anterior head originates from the posterior border of hard palate and anterior and superior surface of palatine aponeurosis, while the posterior head originates from the palatine aponeurosis just behind the anterior head. These two heads fuses at lateral border of palatine aponeurosis and join some fiber from salpingopharyngeus, and these two muscles arches downwards and insert on the posterior border of thyroid lamina with the stylopharyngeus and salpingopharyngeus muscle. And this muscle covered by the single layer of mucosa and submucosa, and it forms the posterior fossa pillar, or you can say palatopharyngeus arch in the oral cavity. This muscle has dual purpose. It elevates the larynx and pharynx and constricts the palatopharyngeal arch to assist in the swallowing. Additionally, it enable the concave shape of the oral surface of the palate and its arches. The fibers of palatopharyngeus originating from the entry head are horizontal at the level of first cervical vertebrae and form the palatopharyngeal sphincter. Contraction of these fibers lift up the posterior pharyngeal wall in form of a ridge. That ridge called as passivant ridge, which is the direct contact with the superior surface of soft palate during swallowing. Above the passivant ridge, there is pseudo-stratified columnar epithelium, and below this passivant ridge, there is stratified squamous epithelium. So, pseudo-stratified convert into the stratified squamous epithelium below this ridge. Third muscle is salpingopharyngeus muscle. It is a long, slender trumpet-shaped muscle which arises from the lower part of cartilaginous tube, Eustachian tube, and descend with the salpingopharyngeal fold and insert on the palatopharyngeus muscle. The action of this muscle to elevate the pharynx and assist to tensor belly palatini to opening of the Eustachian tube. So, two main function: opening of Eustachian tube with the tensor belly palatini and elevation of the pharynx during swallowing. The stylopharyngeus muscle supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. All the other pharyngeal muscle are innervated by the pharyngeal nervous plexus, although cricopharyngeus is also innervated by recurrent and external laryngeal nerve. So, stylopharyngeus is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. Rest all muscle are supplied by the vagus nerve.